if we're live or not. Are we live?
Yes, we are. All
Oh,
right, I'm Austin. I've got zero credentials, and I'm okay at fantasy league.
runner up champion in fantasy league.
Yeah.
I'm Austin. We're both named Austin. See the irony in it? We're
Scooch
Austin and
your
Austin.
scoot your camera over, bro.
My camera over. Am I
Yeah,
uneven?
yeah.
Is
I
that
see
better?
half your face. I see half your face on
Is
my
that
screen.
better?
It's all right.
All right, that'll work.
All
Oh,
right.
I'm about to sneeze. Can't
All right.
sneeze on
So
the pod.
we're touching on the draft. We're getting the first draft
There's,
feedback. I think we'll probably just go over most first round. We'll touch in the second and third round too.
yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is that first pick. So Kyler
Yes.
Murray, we both knew it was going to happen, and then
Both
Rosen though.
predicted it.
Rosen
Yes.
gets traded, which
That's right.
yep. And I heard a thing where Rosen's agent said that he called him or told him about they're picking Kyler Murray, and then he said,
Oh.
okay, well, it looks like I just have to beat him out of the job and have him benched, and yeah, that was on something I was seeing, but
Yep.
yeah, and next thing you know, he gets
He
traded. I don't
traded.
know how early they knew or he knew that they were going to take him or not. I think everybody knew since it was the first round, but
Yeah.
I didn't think he expected that, but or didn't expect at least the trade or anything. But
Well, you know
he's
what's crazy?
apparently already down there. So
Yeah, the crazy thing is that Steve Smith roasted Josh Rosen for not wanting to compete for the starting job. But apparently, according to you, he said to his agent that he was going to compete for the starting job.
yeah,
So
that's his
Steve
agent.
Smith needs to get
I
his
trust his.
facts right.
Yeah, I trust his agent more than
So,
yeah.
well, let's talk about the Cardinals a little bit because I love the Cardinals draft. They drafted a couple. I mean, Kyler Murray was the first pick. Of course, my opinion is that he's the best quarterback in the draft as far as accuracy and that's concerned. Obviously, he has a dynamic athletically. He can run around all around the football field. He's good at that. So, I mean, he's obviously a good pick at number one. And then they picked Brian Murphy, who I had going in the first round at corner. And obviously, cornerback's one of the most valuable positions in the NFL.
Yep. Yep.
So I love that pick. Then Andy Isabella, a guy who we both really like. So they drafted Andy Isabella, Zach Allen on edge. Zach Allen's good. And then Hakeem Butler, another receiver that we really liked. So I love the Cardinals draft, man. They did great.
I like what they did with that. They went offense, defense, and offense, and then it actually kept going further than that.
Yeah.
I like how they mixed that up. Andy Isabella, I think that is a good one, and having the team that they currently have and adding these picks, like I can see them going a little bit further and improving every single year.
Well, dude, I was thinking about this, Austin. Just a couple hours ago, I was thinking about how the Rams, although they're good now, man, they're not built to win in the future because they've spent all their cap room. They have no draft capital. So is the long run, the Rams aren't going to be great. But the Cardinals are actually set up to be good in the long run, so they could run that division, man.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got. What other teams? You want to talk about the Raiders? What they did?
Oh man, the Raiders. Yeah, of course, we all know that they had 3 first-round picks. And the big shocker was when they drafted Cleveland Farrell with the 4th overall pick.
Yeah.
And people saw him as a mid-first rounder, and he got drafted top 5 with Josh Allen still on the board. So that was a very controversial pick by the Raiders. My opinion is that the Raiders really screwed this draft up, man. They had a chance to – somebody had a good analogy about it, man. It's like going to a steakhouse and ordering a hamburger. It's like you could have had a nice steak, but instead you got – I mean, it's still a good hamburger, but it's like you could have had a steak, man, and you decide to draft. I think Josh Jacobs is going to be a good running back. They need a running back now that Marshawn retired. But Jonathan Abram, he obviously got drafted based on athletic traits. So my opinion on the Raiders is that I mean, obviously you have 3 first-round picks, so it's going to turn out decent either way because one of those guys is going to turn out to be a good player. But still, you could have done a lot better if you were the Raiders, in my opinion.
Yeah, Yeah, I think so too. One thing I think they need to do is work on the running back. Derek Carr is not going to, or he's going to try to throw to AB the entire time. But I
Yeah.
mean, I think they need to work on the running back and possibly, get another one in there that's maybe seasoned and probably has a few years left or something like that, so they can mentor this Josh Jacobs guy
Yeah.
and
That's
just keep
smart.
going that further. Maybe switch them in and out, and
Yeah.
maybe do that. But they've got some defensive picks, a bunch of defensive picks. So hopefully that's something that gets better um, with just the
We'll
players that they
see.
got and their
They drafted
offense.
a couple
Does enough.
corners, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see. I don't think the Raiders. I don't know, man. I just trading Khalil Mack away and replacing him with Cleveland Farrell. That just doesn't seem like a very good decision to me. But I like your idea with Josh Jacobs because you have to have a balanced attack in the NFL. I mean, every team that goes deep in the playoffs has a balanced attack. So I think getting Josh Jacobs in there is going to be good for them. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
that's the thing with him and Antonio Brown. Everybody's going to expect to throw to Antonio Brown, so they're going to start, double covering him and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
maybe start changing the plays and stuff and going to another wide receiver. But I think they should establish that run game early on so
Yeah.
people don't expect them to do that or change up
Yeah,
their
because
defensive game so they can't predict what Oakland is doing.
yeah, because Carr can't carry a team. We've already seen him try to do it. He can't carry a team, so you're right about that. So another team I like to talk about is the Seahawks. Although their
Yep.
picks, some of their picks were a little questionable. I think, well, not questionable. They draft a lot of based on athleticism, like most teams
Yeah.
do. A lot of teams draft traits over production. But I love their philosophy in the draft. They traded back so many times. They accumulated so much draft capital, and you see the difference in these teams like the Rams and the Colts and the Seahawks. The Colts and the Seahawks understand that it's best to build through the draft. And so
Yep.
they acquire a bunch of draft capital, they build through the draft. Yet the teams like the Rams, they trade all their draft capital away to try to win now, but it's just not a good
Yep.
formula to win for years and years and years and years. So I just really like the Seahawks draft philosophy. Also, of course, they picked DK Metcalf up in the second round, which was one of the most flashy prospects in the draft. And why don't you tell the people about the story this week? They probably already know about it, but it's still
Yeah,
funny to
they,
talk.
they they already know about it. He DK Metcalf. Why is he coming with his shirt off? Why? Anyway, everybody
Is.
knows. These are football players.
But
Every
he's
wide
jacked.
receiver,
But he's
looks good,
jacked.
and
He's more
he
jacked
probably
than a regular football player.
he probably did that because of that
Yeah.
circulating the internet of him, Jack, and he just went in there like that. But
Well,
it's just him. But
did you see
and
Pete
then
Carroll's
Pete
interview?
Carroll doing that. Yes, like why he did
Well,
that. I'm glad it only
he's
showed us the back part of that instead of the front.
so those saggy
Uh,
man titties. No one
yeah,
wants to see those saggy man titties.
I mean, hey, that's funny, and I like it.
Well, it was funny because Pete Carroll got interviewed about it. He said he was pissed about it. He said he got pissed off, and that's why he took his shirt off too. Not pissed off enough not to draft him though. Dude, I think he could be good with the Seahawks. I really do. I think he could because Russell Wilson, he likes throwing it deep on the field, and I think DK that's his main mo is getting open down the field. So I think he could actually be good with them if he stays healthy.
Yeah, I think with having Russell Wilson as your quarterback, I think he can even just him as a quarterback, not being a wide receiver, he knows how to point him in the right direction and help him to even just be a better player or a
Yeah,
teammate. You know,
well, because
I,
Russell Wilson's elite. He can
yeah,
do that. Yeah.
absolutely.
Um, so how about the Giants drafting Daniel Jones sixth overall? That was crazy. I freaked out when that happened. We
Yeah,
we both predicted it would happen in our mock draft, our
yeah,
podcast that we didn't post. But
yeah.
I freaked out when it happened, man. I was like, oh my god, this guy's bust written all over him. That's my opinion.
I mean, I don't know much about him, but I mean, he came from Duke. I didn't hear. hear a bunch about him. You
Till
know,
the draft happened.
yeah, I mean, I think he does. Uh, you know, he might do good with having Eli Manning as their starter. I know a lot of people are hating on Eli Manning right now, but I mean, Eli Manning is a veteran. He
Two-time
knows
Super Bowl
what it
champion.
takes to win games, and I think with having Daniel Jones under him will help
It's gonna be good for sure.
Jones.
Yeah.
Under other people,
Well,
other quarterbacks, maybe so, but I like that he's at least under Eli Manning.
well, I don't know if you know this, but he has a heavy Manning connection. They've known the Mannings. He's known the Mannings for a long time, and the head coach for Duke was Eli Manning's head coach in college and Peyton Manning's quarterback coach in college. So the David Gettleman for the Giants GM, he views Daniel Jones as the next Manning. So we'll see.
Well, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, it won't happen, but it'll be pretty good. Now, the rest of their draft, though, I think they did pretty well. They drafted defense, heavy defense, and they
Oh
drafted a
yeah.
couple guys I like.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Their next 6 picks were all
Was
defensive
defense.
guys.
Yeah, and I love
I
DeAndre
like
Baker.
that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I really do too. I think besides the Daniel Jones reach at number 6, I think they had a really good draft. In
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah, other than that, it's real good. I like to see this get a bunch of young defensive guys working on their defense. They got Saquon Barkley, which they know can make touchdowns or can get
Yeah.
in the end zone and get those first downs. I think that's still going to be the big playmaker, but I'd like to see their defense, be a whole lot better than what it is and
Well,
give up
when
a lot.
they were winning the Super Bowls, man, that was their thing. They got after the quarterback and they had a good defense. They actually, were competitive on defense. In the last couple of years, they've been pathetic on defense. So,
Yeah.
all right, who else you want to
See,
talk about?
those are big main ones for me. Um,
Yeah,
that's
oh,
basically it. The Browns they did defensive guys, which
yeah,
I really don't. I mean, they could have maybe picked up somebody on offense. They got 2 wide receivers, and a quarterback. So I mean that's real good as long as their line stays healthy and knows what to do. I think they're okay there on offense. And
yeah.
and yeah, they who was that running back they got? That's Chubb, right?
Well,
Um,
they have Chubb, they have Kareem Hunt, and who else do they have? I know they might be trading Duke Johnson. So,
okay, yeah. So they got Chubb, which I like him. But yeah, I think this is good moves by the Browns since they worked on their offense this offseason.
yeah.
So I mean
Well,
that's great.
I I really like their first pick because Greedy Williams is was a first round pick. I mean, in our mock draft, I had him go number 5 overall because I thought he was that good. And the crazy thing is, man, is that people didn't draft him just because he couldn't tackle. And I think the GM for the Browns had a really awesome quote. He was like, "Corners aren't paid to tackle, right? They're paid to cover. Like they're not there to
Yeah,
tackle. They're there to cover." And that's the kind of philosophy that these teams need to start having because the league has changed, man. The league is not based around running the ball anymore. It's based around passing the ball, and corners are there to cover. And I think Greedy Williams in the second round, dude, they might as well have had a first round pick. I mean, he's
yeah,
worth a first round pick, and the second round like that, I thought that was an excellent move by the Browns. And dude, I'm telling you, they are they are for sure a contender next year to win the Super Bowl, or at least represent the AFC
yeah.
in the Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. He's fast too, and
yeah,
I think corners, defensive guys. I think those guys need to know how to bring down people because I see that all the time where they end up missing a tackle and just sliding off just because they don't know how. But those same guys, like you said, they know how to cover. You won't see in some situations, depending on who the people is, quarterback if they're not trusting their wide receiver enough, depending on who's covering them, they're not going to throw it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good pick. I like that one a lot.
So before we move on, we're going to talk about a little bit NBA before we get off here too. Before we move on, let's both choose one winner and loser from the draft. Who's your winner?
Well, my winner is probably the Cardinals. Absolutely Cardinals. I mean, Cardinals all the way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, man. I was going to choose the Cardinals too, man. I just really like, even if you don't think Kyler Murray's the answer at quarterback, they still have a great second round pick, two great second round picks, a great third round pick, and a great fourth round pick. And dude, with these receivers they have around Kyler Murray, man, I mean, he has a chance to be great. I'm telling you. So winner's also the Cardinals, and I think my loser, it's gonna have to be the Raiders, man.
Losers the same. Yeah.
Raiders. It's just they had a chance to have three great first round picks and they blew it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Raiders.
They did okay, but just the fact that they had the 3 first round picks, that's the thing. Like if they had
should have been a lot better.
One, like okay, but like if it's 3 first round picks, yeah, it definitely should.
And you blew it. It should have been better, yeah. So yeah, we have the same winner and loser. I can't really think anybody else. I mean, I don't think anybody made a reach like the Raiders made, except for maybe the Giants with Daniel Jones. So, yep, that's the NFL draft. That's pretty much all the main stories from that. And I think Colin Cowherd actually made a good point for the first time maybe in his career today that he said, you know, the winners of the draft are always going to be the teams who get a quarterback and it works out. Like quarterback is what runs the NFL, and whoever gets their franchise quarterback will be the winner of the draft. So that could be the Cardinals, man.
Yeah, I hope it's the Cardinals. And even if Kyler Murray doesn't work out, which I think he will, and I think a lot of teams who are searching for a quarterback and they pick someone else, I think they always struggle just a little bit. But with their other picks, I think that complements Kyler Murray a lot. So
exactly with the receivers.
So, I mean, and I mean, I think I think they'll work around that, and I mean, I think he'll get better and better.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man. NBA second round of the playoffs.
All right, so let's talk about the first one. Let's talk about the Rockets and the Warriors. Okay, that one was close. It was 100 to 104. Game. Yeah, and everybody's talking about the officiating. Curry, someone said that he should have been fouled out, and it started showing highlights of him fouling and stuff. Which there are some obvious calls that didn't get called. And that's on both sides too. But I think just since the Rockets lost, that they're just voicing their opinion about that a lot.
Yeah. So there's two. I think the two main storylines from this game. So one being like the officiating. Is the officiating bad? Of course, the Rockets complaining about it. And I think the second thing is man, Kevin Durant is the man. Like, even though I can't stand Kevin Durant, but dude, he's honestly carried them through the playoffs, man. No one's played as well as he has.
He had like 50 points in the
closeout game.
Yeah, and then this game he had 43 he had 35.
35.
He had 35 points. But
he played well, man.
Below that had 14 and 14 and then I think 13.
Exactly.
I think actually Steph Curry had 18 points. Yeah. But 35. He led it. He's been doing good, and
he closed the game too.
Yeah, that's going to be the success for the Warriors this entire time is going to be Kevin Durant. So if the Rockets want to do something, they need to stop him from shooting.
Got to stop KD. Yeah, and you're right about that because right now, I don't know if you know this, but Curry and Clay are both banged up. And okay, so you can say the officiating's bad and whatnot, but in my opinion, like the officiating was a little questionable, but the Rockets get calls all the time. James Harden consistently leads the league in free throw attempts. So my opinion is the Rockets got to man up, man, and actually defend KD, and that's you can't just beat the Warriors based on the officiating. Like you can't use the refs to beat the Warriors. You have to guard KD, and hit shots, and that's how you're going to beat the Warriors.
Yeah, there's always going to be bad calls. They should just get to the point where they don't even worry that there's bad calls. But this is the playoffs. We all know that that's not going to happen between these two teams. So, I mean, with other teams, yeah. But, like, with these two teams, I can understand Harden's frustration with that just because it's so close. And, I mean, yeah, in the past and stuff, you can see some of these could turn into, a game-deciding call.
Yeah, you got a good point with that, but I just think Harden. Last night he goes it was last night. He shoots 32% from the field. Like, maybe if you weren't shooting 32% from the field, maybe you guys would actually have beat Golden State last night.
But he also scored the same amount of points that Kevin Durant did.
Yeah, so but that's the point about the officiating. 35. He gets to the line way more though. Because he had what? How many foul shots did he have? He had 14 foul shots. It's like you got to the line, 7 times? I mean, come on, man. You can't complain about the officiating. And because KD, he didn't get to the line nearly as much. He did shoot more free throws, but he also had a better field goal percentage.
Who's this Eric Gordon guy? He had 27 points for the Rockets, man. He's
Eric
stepping
Gordon's
up.
Pretty good, man. Yeah, he's not bad. Yeah, he's a shooting guard for the Rockets. He's pretty good.
Between James Harden and Kevin Durant, he had the second highest points.
Yeah, dude, he's pretty good. So I hope the Rockets win. I can't stand the Warriors, but
I hope officiating gets better on both sides where there's not that many calls.
Because you don't want to see it decide the game.
Yeah. I hope people decide not to keep fouling and actually play some basketball. I can understand. Yeah, it gets intense sometimes and physical, but like calm down on the fouls. That was just the first game though, so I'm excited to watch some of the next ones just to see how it's going to be. Yeah. But I want to keep the drama out of it.
Yeah, and then we have the Celtics and the Bucks. I think the biggest thing to talk about with this game is that Giannis was kind of nowhere to be found. Al Horford really shut Giannis down. Giannis did not shoot well from the field at all. He shot 33% from the field. Yeah, man, he was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in that game. I mean, yeah, Celtics, they deserve that. I mean, if you look at who all had points on that team, they spread it out. Even the Bucks did too.
Great team basketball.
The Celtics, they just kept getting points. So
yeah, I mean, the thing with the Celtics, man, is with Brad Stevens, they just play great team basketball. I mean, Kyrie Irving obviously leads the charge most nights, but they have great ball movement, man. Watching that game, I watched a little bit of that game, and man, the ball movement's just really fun to watch. So I think that's gonna be the story moving forward. If the Bucks can actually, I think it comes down to coaching, man. If Brad Stevens is gonna outcoach the Bucks coach, then they're gonna win the series.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to today's games. So we have the let's see here, 76ers actually beat Toronto to tie the series.
Yep.
That was a pretty good game. Let's see what happened in this game.
That was, obviously 94-89.
Yeah. Kawhi is playing out of his mind in this playoff series, dude. Or in this playoffs, he's just playing well.
Good too.
Yeah. Yeah, Kawhi's playing really well. He didn't do enough tonight, but I think we need to give props.
He did enough.
The rest of the team. Yeah, you're right.
It's just
the rest of the team.
Other team played better. The rest of the Raptors, some of them did okay, but I mean they just needed more. You can't just put it on one guy. But I mean he had a good game.
Yeah, he did. And I think the biggest story with the Sixers, I think watching the highlights of this game, it was obvious to me that Kawhi was by far the best player on the floor. And maybe we really do need to start, pumping the brakes on Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons because they were supposed to be the next greatest things. But, man, it took Jimmy Butler tonight winning the game for them. Jimmy Butler closed. Jimmy Butler led them in points. So I think obviously you got to give your props to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's a great player, but I think the biggest storyline for me is that Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are still very young and they're not fully developed and they've not proven themselves in the postseason yet.
Yeah, I think with Ben Simmons, I mean, one game he'll go off, he'll do good, and then the next game, like he'll get 0 points or barely. There's one game in this final. There was one game in this final. You know that he had some problems with one of the guys on Nets team. I don't even know who the guy is, but like he had nothing, and then the next game he's got something. So I mean, I think it is just the playoffs for him though. But I mean, playoffs you're always going to get top notch games and stuff. So I think that's just how it goes in the playoffs though. But I mean, he needs to step up. I mean,
he does.
Jimmy Butler's a good guy. I think it's just Jimmy Butler and Kawhi Leonard this entire series. Yeah. But
you're right.
The 76ers,
you're right about that.
As long as Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid do something, then that can push them over the top. As long as those three guys do something, then they got it. But I mean, Kawhi Leonard though he's good, so I mean they've got to do something. They've got to keep him contained and not let him get them open baskets.
Dude, my opinion on a little bit of free agency in basketball this upcoming summer, obviously Kawhi's going to be a free agent. I think the Lakers need to go all in on Kawhi. Kawhi's an underrated shooter. Yeah, they were talking about it. He's an underrated shooter, man. He can shoot the perimeter. He shoots mid-range. He can drive to the basket. And obviously he's been crowned as the best two-way player in the league for a while now. So he plays great defense. So I think Kawhi, and he shows up in the playoffs, man. These playoffs, obviously they beat the Magic, and that's not too big of a deal. Man, he's played well in the series. He cannot be blamed for the loss tonight.
No. He's real good. But yeah, I see him going to the Lakers. I think LeBron like that, and it would help that team a lot. They'd for sure be in the playoffs next year. Turn everything around with him, and I think
finals
with him
contenders.
And LeBron as leaders, I think that'll help all those other young guys that they have on the team.
Yeah, and they'll develop. And think about this: if KD goes to the Knicks or the Warriors, or goes away from the Warriors, then that opens the door for every team in the West, man.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see. So the last game is Portland versus Denver. I think the thing here to talk about is Damian Lillard has showed that he's easily a top 10 player in the NBA. There's no question about that. And he's one of the best guards in the NBA. Tonight he dropped 39 and 6 assists and a loss. So
40. That's just crazy. I mean, he almost dropped 40 points, and you see your team lose. Like I'd be pissed going into the locker room. Dude, I wouldn't say I wouldn't. I'd be two types of guys. I probably wouldn't say anything, but then I'd probably lose my mind in the locker room if people ain't showing up to.
Dude, I agree with you on that. It's just like, I mean, you got to do more if you're Portland. Like, that's why I hate, like, Damian Lillard's a great guy. And he said on multiple occasions that he wants to stay in Portland, but I'd much rather go to see him go to, like, the Lakers or something, just to see, like, what he could do with a better cast around him.
If they start building around certain players, and that's what a lot of NBA teams need to do, or need to try to do, is build around these other players, because they will rub off on these younger guys. So I mean that's what I think all these teams need to focus on. But
I think you're right. But the problem with the NBA is that with how free agency is set up, the players just stockpile on the big market teams. So the smaller market teams like Portland get left in no man's land, where they have a good team because they have a superstar Damian Lillard who they drafted, but they can't get any free agents, and they have a bad draft pick every year because there's only like 8 to 10 good players in the draft every year for the NBA. So, man, it's just I don't know. The NBA needs more parity. Although I like basketball, I like the NBA, and we're going to cover it here on our podcast. But I still think it needs more parity.
Yeah, absolutely. I
All right.
think that's all the games. So we've got a game coming up. We've got the Celtics and Bucks, and then the Rockets and Warriors. Celtics Bucks is at 8, and Rockets Warriors at 10:30. I'd like to watch or catch some highlights of that game, just to hope that's going to be better. But who do you think will take that game?
All right, prediction time. So we can predict the games and maybe predict the series too if you want. Let's see, Bucks, Celtics.
Let's do the games. Let's just do the games. Let's do
Okay.
both. Yeah, we can do the series too.
Okay. So
Bucks
I'm
and
gonna take the
Celtics.
Bucks. I'm gonna take the Bucks game too.
Really? All right,
Yeah.
yeah, it is at the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think that it might happen. I think if they do win a game, it'll be this one.
Yeah.
But just for the series, though, I'm gonna go Celtics. I think they're better team.
I agree with you. Yeah. I love Giannis, and I think Giannis is the best player in the NBA. But it's hard for me to say that now with how KD's playing. I think Chris Broussard said it best today, is that you can get regular season MVPs, but the best player in the world crown goes to the person who does it in the postseason. So I think right now the best player in the world is Kevin Durant. And I don't think that's I don't know who can actually argue that. I mean, even though people hate KD, you can't really argue that fact right now. But I still think Giannis is going to show up, man. He's the most dominant player in the NBA right now. He cannot be stopped in the post, and he's just. I mean, I think he's going to show up in game 2. I think they're going to take that game.
Yeah, I think so too. It's at the Warriors. I think they're going to extend that unless something drastically changes.
Yeah.
But I think KD will probably have the highest points. That not too. I think James Harden might get up there. I don't know since it's at the Warriors, so I don't know if he'll struggle a little bit. But I think Kevin Durant, you're right on that, and I think he'll have most points. I think he'll have above 30. Not sure about the 40. It'd be nice, but he'll definitely have, I'd say, above 30 or close to it.
So this game's hard to predict for me because Houston, Golden State. I think. I mean, this rivalry has been going on for a couple of years now, and this is probably like the NBA Finals in a way. I think either team that advances in this series will go on to win the championship.
Yep.
And so my opinion on this game in particular is that Steph and Clay. I mean, Clay hasn't struggled as much as Steph, but Steph in this playoffs, man, he's been banged up. He's been struggling. So if Kevin Durant can be contained just a little bit, I think the Rockets are going to win the series or win the game and the series. In this game in particular, I'm going to go and take the Rockets just because I think they'll make some adjustments and they're going to end up winning. I don't think they shot so poorly from 3 last game, so I'm going to go and take the Rockets. I'm going to disagree with you on that. I think they're going to tie it up 1-1.
All right. Then we can have let's do Trailblazers and Nuggets.
Okay.
Yeah,
who do you got?
These I have no clue on this. I think I want to go Trailblazers, but I like the favorite of home team. But I think this time I think Lillard. I think he'll get it. And he'll talk to those teammates and get the ball moving, and I think he'll rub off on those teammates and talk to them and see if they can come up with plays. So I think it'll be a closer game this time, but I hope the Blazers will win it, and I hope they take it all.
Yeah, I really do too. I think Trailblazers are going to win the series for sure. Denver has one star in the Joker. And he's good, man. He's probably the best passing big man in the league. And he played well in Game 1. He obviously hung up 37 on the Trailblazers. But I still think Damian Lillard's a superstar. I think he's going to win the series. I think he'll win Game 2 on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then we got
All right.
Raptors and 76ers on Thursday. What you think about that game?
That one, I hope it go. I hope Raptors. I hope it goes Raptors. But again, 76ers, they're the home team. Um, I hope the Raptors. I'm gonna say Raptors gets the series, but
Yeah.
76ers might get this game. Since I'd like to see the Raptors get this game. I know Kawhi will definitely show up. It just depends on if 76ers as a whole shows up. So if
Yeah.
they show up, which is home, I believe they can. So I'm going to change that. I think 76ers will get this win, but then I think Raptors.
Won the
Actually,
series.
I have no
It's
clue.
close.
Raptors will win the series. This is a good game. I'd like to see this one, but
Yeah.
Raptors, I'd like to see them get the series. But 76ers, it's going to be at home. I mean, I think 76ers will take this one, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Raptors are actually going to take Game 3, just because the NBA comes down to a lot of the time comes down to who has the best player on the court, especially when we're in. I think especially in mid round of the playoffs, it comes down to that because right now Kawhi will put everything he has into this one game. And I think I think they can win it just because I think it comes down to star power and Kawhi is by far the best player on both teams.
See, I see. I'm thinking, Raptors also as well because they're just coming off that loss, which was only like
Like a
5-6
6 point
points.
loss. Yeah,
So
exactly.
So I think with that, I think they know what it takes to, get over that. They definitely know what it takes to, get that win. But I think since they're coming off that loss, see, I'm either way on that one. But
It's
I
a good
won't.
series.
I'll take Raptors series. Yeah.
Yeah. So my predictions on the series, man, I'm doing this more as a fan just because I want to see parity in the NBA. I'm gonna take the Rockets in 7 just because I want them to lose so bad, the Warriors. And I gotta take the Celtics, man. Brad Stevens is just such a good coach. I'm gonna take them in 6. I'm gonna take the Trailblazers in 6, and I'll take the Raptors in 7.
Yeah, I like the Raptors in 7, Rockets in 7. I think Celtics. Honestly, I'm thinking. I don't know. I think they can get it done in 5, if not 5 and 6.
Ooh, disrespecting
I'm
Giannis
thinking
like that.
5.
The Greek
Uh,
freak. The Greek
uh,
freak.
the Trailblazers and Nuggets. That'll probably go to Game 7. I'll take the Blazers on that in Game 7.
Man. Damian Lillard's fun to watch, man. I just that game-winning shot against Oklahoma City the other night, dude. That was crazy. That meme got created of Damian Lillard's face.
Dude, that is fun. I like that one.
That's
That's
good meme.
meme of the NBA playoffs right now. It might
Meme of the
stay
week.
that way.
Should we
If
do
they
meme of the week on the pod?
we should
Meme of the week on
absolutely.
pod. All right, meme of the week on
We-
pod is Trailblazer
and
or Damian Lillard's face.
we'll tweet it out also whenever we get that set up. We'll do stuff like that. If you all just listen, we'll do stuff like that and tell you what it is.
All right, y'all. I think that's all we're covering tonight because Austin doesn't want to talk about UFC because he didn't do his research on the fights.
You can throw it out there and I'll give my opinion.
Okay, I do want to talk about this real quick. We do have to get off the phone because it's 3:00. We're recording this late.
Greg Hardy.
The Greg Hardy fight. So there's a conspiracy that Greg Hardy's opponent got paid by Dana White to throw the fight. I'm not honestly. I wouldn't put that underneath Dana White, to be completely honest with you.
I think, I mean, I don't see it. I mean, I see it, but it's like as a company and stuff. Like, how you gonna do that? Like,
he wants to promote Greg Hardy, man. It's like, why do you want to promote Greg Hardy so bad for?
Like, why? Yeah.
Exactly. What's the point? He's not selling pay-per-views.
Any guy, but yeah, like why? Makes no sense.
All right, y'all tell us what you think about Greg Hardy in the comments. You think it was fixed? Yes, it was fixed. We all know Uncle Dana's games. All right, that's pretty much it. All right, how are we signing off?
All right, we just sign off.
No, we can't just sign off.
Give us some feedback on that. How we sign off.
Yeah. How do we sign? How do we do this? We're horrible at it. We have no credentials.
Yeah, that's it. No credentials. Goodbye. That's our sign off.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.